Welcome to MSBI training. In this session, we will be learning connection managers in SSIS, which are very important in SSIS. We have wide range of connection managers in SSIS. So connection managers acts like a bridge between source and destination. These are very crucial in ETL extract, transformation and load process. So the extraction and the loading happens only with the help of the connection managers. We have to choose appropriate connection manager based on the type of source or destination we have. So every type of source or destination will have a specific connection manager. Like if we are dealing with Excel files, then we have to use Excel connection manager. If we are dealing with flat files or XML files, we have to use respect to connection managers. So as part of SSIS, we have multiple connection managers, wide range of connection managers, which can be used to connect most of the frequently or widely used sources or destinations. Okay. Sometimes my source and destination will be same. Maybe I will be loading data from an SQL server table and loading data into SQL server table again. Or sometimes my source and destination would be different, but irrespective of what my source or what my destination is, these are the connection managers which will be used at both the places, source and destination. Okay. So what you see here in this table are the connection managers which are available in SSIS. So how to check them in SSIS? Let's name this connection managers. See, this is a panel where we create connection managers. When you right click on this, you will see some of the widely used connection managers available immediately on the right click menu. Okay. If you click on new connection here, you will see all the list of connection managers that are available as part of SSIS. Okay. So this list is not exclusive, so you can add more to this. So if you find anytime shortage of a type of connection manager, you have to deal with source or destination, then you can go to Microsoft website and download the required connection manager. Or there is an option to create a custom connection manager using .NET code can be deployed. Every connection manager you see is a DLL, dynamic link library. It is created on .NET platform by Microsoft Corporation. See? Okay. So let's discuss in general what is the importance or significance of each of the connection manager that we see here. You see ADO. ADO is a very old type of connection manager, which will be this was object model which was there as part of MS Access or early versions of Excel. So when the data was maintained in a distributed formats, these are the type of drivers which were used for dealing with data. Now we don't use this ADO.NET drivers anymore. So this was in the time of VB, before .NET, when Microsoft was promoting Visual Basic VB. Okay, then in place of VB we got VB was replaced by .NET framework, much more advanced and powerful framework. So this, when the .NET was introduced, the drivers which were there on the Visual Basic were recreated and branded as ADO.NET. So these are the data drivers which are proposed, which were redeveloped using .NET platform. Okay. Here I want to tell the difference between VB.NET and VB. So VB, Visual Basic, was before .NET. VB is a platform, just like .NET. So when people were dealing with VB, were working on VB, they had ADO. When people started working on .NET, they have ADO.NET. So don't get confused with VB.NET. VB.NET is a language, whereas VB is a framework. VB.NET is a language just like C#, which are supported by .NET. So for the people who are working on VB, to get them transitioned easily onto .NET, VB.NET was made part of .NET. Okay, so VB.NET is a part of .NET, which is a language, just like C#. Okay, so when we have to create custom drivers, we can use either VB.NET or C# to create custom drivers, custom connection managers. If in case we feel shortage of the connection managers, we already have here, which is very rare, which is very rare scenario. Okay, then we have cache transformation. Yeah, this is a temporary storage connection manager, which is part of SSIS. So if we have to deal with any temporary data as part of SSIS package workflow, when a package gets executed, only during the process of its execution, if temporarily a set of data has to be stored in RAM, then we use this cache connection manager. Okay. So we don't deal with any physical source or physical destination, only the data at the time of execution. If in case needed to be stored in a RAM for temporary reason, we will use this connection manager. As soon as the package completes its execution, all the data in this cache connection manager will be wiped out. Then we have data quality services connection manager, which is used for connecting to the data services databases. And we have Excel for Excel files, then flat file. Yeah, we have to understand the difference between file and flat file. File is for creating folders, moving folders, deleting folders, copying files into folders, all that stuff. We don't physically write anything into the file. We do folder level operations. In such scenario, we will use file connection manager. And flat file connection manager is specifically for reading data or writing data from flat file or to flat file. Okay, so flat files are mostly comma separated or tab separated, precisely delimiter separated files, delimited files. So those are the flat files. To read or write, we use flat file connection manager. Okay, and then we have FTP, file transfer protocol connection manager, HTTP, hyperlink text protocol. Okay, so if we have to read or write to an FTP server, we use this FTP connection manager. Same way, if we have to read or write from a web service, then we use HTTP. MSMQ, Microsoft Message Queue. Okay, this Microsoft Message Queue will be part of Windows operating system. If you know the queue concept, first in, first out, yeah, first in, first out, FIFO is a queue concept. So if we want to store the data in a queue, we can use this connection manager. This will be part of Windows operating system. Okay, exclusive for Windows operating system. There are queues. Temporarily we can store data in these queues. Imagine like you are reading data from a POS, point of sale. So if the transactions get generated at the POS, and immediately you are reading the transaction, whatever the transaction that is getting generated at the point of sale on a superstore, on a petrol bunk, whatever. Okay, so instead of reading directly the transaction file, if we queue it, means if we send the transaction file that is generated at POS, point of sale, into a queue, and if we read data if we do ETL reading from queue, then the advantage we have is, in case if ETL fails or if there's a network failure, all the data can be queued up, will be queued up in the queue, and nothing will be lost. Okay, and transactions can be still be generated even if we are not reading the files, because they are getting stored in a queue. They are never lost and business is not stopped. So there are many practical scenarios where queues are used in a real-time integration services, and SSIS can read to those queues from those queues using this connection manager, MSMQ, Microsoft Message Queues. Then we have MSOLAP, Microsoft Online Analytical Processing. So this is when we are dealing with analysis services cubes, we will use this. Multi-file, multi-flat file. Yeah, if we are dealing with multiple files in a folder, then we use multi-file. Just plural of file. If you have more files to be moved, then multi-file. If you have more files to be read, multi-flat file. OLEDB, very popular, very famous, uh, can connect to any kind of RDBMS. OLEDB, that those are the drivers we use for connecting to RDBMS, Oracle or Teradata or MS SQL Server, whatever. And very efficient, fast, reliable. There won't be any data loss or any kind of thing. I mean, most of the drivers are reliable, but OLEDB are, we will do that study also. Why OLEDB are powerful compared to ODBC and ADO.NET. ODBC. So these are the drivers which were created in competition to JDBC. Nobody is using these drivers now. Then we have SQL Server Management Studio. So this is a connection manager which is specifically created for SQL Server, Microsoft SQL Server. When we have to do a bulk recompilation of all the views in a database, then we can use this. It will iterate to all the objects. You specify the objects, it will iterate through maybe stored procedures or views or tables. And we can do bulk operations on SQL Server. SQL Server management objects. Very exclusive for MS SQL Server. Then we have SMTP, Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. We can read mails, send mails. Yeah, we can do that stuff using SSIS, using this connection manager. Assume that at the end of the execution of the package, you want to communicate to business user that the ETL operation has completed. Yeah, you will use this SMTP task and send out a mail. In case of failure, you want to alert your administrator, package administrator. You can shoot a mail using this SMTP protocol. Then for compact devices, SQL Mobile. Then we have Windows Management Instrument, exclusive for Windows Server operating system. Mostly this MSMQ also will be dealt with Microsoft Windows operating system. Okay, so these are the connection managers that we have. And what are the common connection managers that we use in day-to-day ETL operations? We will use Excel, we will use file, we will use flat file, we will use OLEDB, SMTP.